What is up, bros? Me Josh here. In today's video, we are going over the Tier 10 Pan-Asian destroyer, the Yueyang, and this has easily become my favorite ship to play right now. I think it's extremely strong, maybe almost too strong at Tier 10, but I'm absolutely loving this ship. It's insane. We've been seeing it a lot more in clan battles. We use it in clan battles, and it's just an overall great ship. And if you enjoy kind of that gunboat destroyer line, I've been highly recommending going up the Pan-Asian line. They are a bit unique and they're a bit different, but I think if you enjoy playing destroyers, this is definitely the line to play. The Chungmu at Tier 9 is great. This is great. There's a lot of really good ships with this line. I think they're an absolute blast. So there's two main things that set this thing apart and this whole line apart, and that's the type of torpedoes and the smoke. Now, the Chungmu is going to be, it's basically a gearing. Yes, it's a different class. It sits lower in the water. The survivability is, I think it's a little less than the gearing. So, but really, if you play this and you play the gearing, it's going to be very similar. So just for the overall look, it's kind of just a lower setting. It's a smaller gearing in a way. And you get a lower concealment because of it at one of the lowest at this tier at 5.8. So you actually get the jump on almost every ship. Actually, are you at this? I'm trying to think right now. I think you're the stealthiest ship at this tier, which doesn't make any sense. Sorry, Shima. But so you're gonna get the jump on every ship and basically kind of rocking gearing guns. Again, I know they're not the same. I'm just kind of saying it in these broad terms to just kind of make a comparison. But the main thing that's different is you are going to be a little bit stealthier than everything. Torpedoes are deep water torps, so that makes this line really unique. And what are these? These are torpedoes that can only hit cruisers, battleships, and aircraft carriers. They aren't the deep torps that like the S. Sashio and the Graf Zeppelin have. But these are deep water torps that can still hit cruisers, battleships, and CVs. And so basically these are torpedoes. The one hit really hard. Two, they're pretty damn fast at 68 knots. I mean, those are really quick torps. This is without torp acceleration. And they have really low detection. So this thing on a flank is insane. Not only are you going to win almost every gun battle because your guns are great, you have great smoke, your detectability is really low. When you're on a flank, you're throwing out 15.5 kilometer torps that are 68 knots and can almost not be seen at 0.8 kilometer detection. These are absolutely ridiculous, and this ship is so good, and you can punish the heck out of a team if you get that flank and can just start farming damage. Go in, take out the DDs. This is a great anti-destroyer as well. Going in and just absolutely just destroying the destroyers and going in and just farming damage off battleships, which we will show in the upcoming game. I'm about to tell you guys. But for usual, just the kind of setup I run on this ship. Damage control party 2, of course, running that. Smoke generator. Now this is one of the things. So with the Pan Asian DD line, you get more smokes, but they don't last as long. So reload time is 76 seconds. Smoke screen's active for 70 seconds. And then active for 30 seconds. So smoke screen is down for stays there for 70 and is active for, so you can lay down smoke for 30 seconds. So it is kind of nice to bail out cruisers and bail out battleships if they need to. You can still do that. It's kind of normal smoke, but they won't last that long. If you run, I think it's like jack of all trades, there's almost like no overline, so you can actually run 5 in a row. Now this is 5 charges with just the premium. I actually don't run superintendent on this captain, but you could get a 6th. I feel like you're not going to use all 6 in this ship, so I don't run superintendent on this line. But still, almost 6 seconds of no smoke if you really want to put it down. And you can basically almost go gunboat with the littlest. This line plays a little different than everything else. Engine boost 2, you're going to run that. If you can't afford it, if you can't afford damage control and you can't afford the engine boost, definitely grab the extra smoke. You will use it. This is assuming you aren't running superintendent. Upgrade. Now this is what I am running. I run main armament mod 1. This is pretty good for all destroyers, saving those torpedo tubes, saving those guns as much as possible because you're going to be using those torps on cooldown basically, as well as your guns whenever you need to. Propulsion, even though I do run last stand, if you've ever played destroyer and you lose your propulsion, you drift out of smoke, you slow down, you speed up slower. I just never want to lose propulsion. You could potentially grab, if you want to run radar on this thing, which I don't. You could take the radar mod if you have it. You could do steering if you really want to. I feel like propulsion is better to have around, even with last stand. AA range, I feel like nothing here is really crazy worth anything. I think it's fairly accurate. You're not really needing this. Torpedo tubes turn fast enough. You're not really going to need it. So I think the extra little bit of AA, even though your AA isn't insane, It's up to 52, so you're throwing out some decent damage. I'd like the AA mod because just in case, because you don't have AA consumable. Steering here, I take this because you will be gunfights, you will be getting relatively close, you will be pushing destroyers, so it's always good to have that ability to rudder shift quicker and stuff like that. Concealment, of course, this is basic, and I actually run here, I run torpedo tubes. These torpedoes are absolutely insane, and I want to pump out as many as I can. So this lowers the reload time, and basically makes it so you won't get your torpedo tubes incapacitated. For captain skills, this is what I'm running. There's a whole bunch of different builds on this. I might do an entire video on this, but this is a 19-point captain. I think this is pretty basic. First 10 points, priority target, last stand, superintendent, or not superintendent, survivability expert, and then concealment. That's pretty basic for 10s. And then after that, I kind of go pretty aggressive here. I go torpedo armament expertise at 17. Or well, that's 13. I pick up demo expert at 16. Adrenaline rush at 18, and then I actually pick up preventive maintenance. As you can see, I don't run superintendent. I just don't think you're going to need that 6 smoke. If you feel like you need it, go for it. But I feel like pumping out torps faster and doing more damage with your guns with the fires, because you will hopefully be forcing repairs either with that. This is a great ship to do that. You can set ships on fire, force the repair, and then switch over to torpedoes, get a flood, vice versa. That's a great little combo, so anything that's going to help. Let's dive into some gameplay with the Yueyang and show you how effective this thing can be at just farming insane damage. So here we are in game with the Yueyang, and again, we're going to break down basically what we're playing against, what you should do with every destroyer. And one, we're looking for which has radar, and the DDs we're going against. So one, Des Moines, Neptune potentially has radar. Some are running it. Not, in my opinion, not very good if they're running it. Gearing, Shima, and Fletcher. So Gearing, Shima, Fletcher. If I was in a Shima, I would be very nervous about certain things. If I was even in a Z or, you know, anything else, I would, okay, I gotta watch out for these guys. In the Yueyang, I know I have the jump on all 3 of those destroyers. I know I can outgun all 3 of those destroyers. I just know I can beat all those destroyers, so I'm really not that scared. Of course, we have to worry about torpedoes, but as you can see, the ship is sitting relatively low on the waterline. You have all your guns. I'm hitting this flank. We have a Zao with me, and the whole thing is potentially, since there's no cap over on this side of the map, I'm potentially going to get this massive flank. I'll baby my Zao with smokes. He can farm, and then you have a Yueyang and a Zao on your flank, which is not what you want, especially with Zao being as sneaky. So, as sneaky as it is, one thing that's in clan battles is destroyers, and especially Yueyangs, have been really good with partnering with certain ships. What you can do is you can baby them with a ton of smokes. They'll never be seen, and they can be very aggressive pushing forward as long as they're not within range of getting hit by torps or being spotted in smoke when they fire. So that's kind of what we did. As you can see, our Yamato is splitting the other way. We're going to try to go for the flank, and assuming not too many ships would go this way, but apparently their team has decided that they're going to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to throw out these torps. I do this a lot with ships that are kind of moving in. One downside is if a destroyer, one of the 3, rolls this way, he's going to spot those torps. Unluckily for me, that plane is going perfectly over that spot. But if a DD does go in that area, he is going to spot those torps, and they can turn. That plane turns right there. As you can see, the Zao has turned, and the Yamato is going to start making a move. But again, the Yamato is pretty big, so if they do hit him, or even if he starts moving now, it's going to be hard for him. As you can see, he's looking right at the torps right now. But these are already spotted, so that's kind of a bummer. I was hoping to do a bit more damage, but as you can see, we're going to kind of get in a more defensive spot here. But so far, so good. No destroyers that we can see. None have been spotted yet, but all the battleships are kind of heading this way, which is exactly what you want in this ship. You want battleships, and there's a flood right there. It seems that these torps have an extremely high chance of flood. I don't know if they've ever released a certain report of what the flood chance is, but I feel like these get floods almost every hit. But again, Shima right here, you know, we smash a Shima. The downside is there are lots of ships over here, so we're going to keep dunking this guy. I was hoping to just kind of murder him right here with my Zao, but my Zao had to turn back a little bit. And we're going to throw down our first smoke and start doing that because we just can't take a lot of damage. But about a nice little, what, 10k damage. He's shooting way the heck off to my right. Don't know what's over there. But we can't sit and smoke. There's no way. But look at all that farm. And there's the Shima Torps, if you guys didn't see it off the other side. So we knew we're relatively safe, but we do have to be careful of the Neptune because he has 10-kilometer torps. But look at all this farm. A Zhao, 2 Hinties, battle, the Yamato, the Montana. And the Yamato doesn't have a repair right now. But I don't want to throw too much life away. Already, that Yamato, I don't know if he didn't know he has repair or what. I remember looking up at this point and just going, how do I have 70k damage already? So I hit that dude with 1 torp. He must have took a fire right away and repaired 1. So in the first 4 minutes of a game, we farmed 70k off that poor Yamato. It's the best. That's one thing you can really do with this ship is what I call forcing the repairs. And what that is you have such a high fire chance because you are using... and I would assume I'd get something in this smoke, and I was really bummed at this point, but then it ended up working out, so we ended up getting a couple right there. I believe that's the Hindenburg, so a nice little, you know, we just, 5 minutes into the game, we're almost at 100k. This thing is so sick. But what you can do is you can alternate repairs, or force the repairs. What I mean is you shoot so fast, and with Demo Expert you have such a relatively high chance, not a crazy high chance, but you can force the repairs and make them repair, so then if they do take a flood, which these torps hit very hard, and have a high flood chance, you could then get a flood that would then stick. So as you can see, we farmed 70k off that Yamato because he must have repaired 1 fire. It's amazing how many people repair 1 fire, and this is when this game gets kind of a bummer. Still, only support is my Zhao right now, and I am very close to a whole bunch of people. I need to get this turn off. We're gonna take a pretty big hit right here. Then we have a Neptune pushing in. So I'm thinking worst case, I'm gonna maybe dump my torps, get this Shima kill, and as you can see, we're chunking about 2k a salvo, and I think I missed this salvo. I don't know how I missed. Yeah. So I'm just being very careful on getting too aggressive here. I need to kill this Shima, but I need to not die too, because if I die, then this whole side will just get absolutely flanked. And right now it seems like we aren't doing too much. I need that Neptune to die, and really the only thing that's able to shoot is our Zhao. So it's we kind of were wondering what was going on in this game, because it was just us on the side with 6 of their ships. But as you can see, over where C cap normally is on the original layout of the 4 cap, not the new one, our team slowly just YOLOs in single file to on that C point right here. As you can see, this becomes a graveyard of ships, and as you can see, one guy, I think that's a DM sitting right here, he's going to go absolutely broadside to him. I think he does too. I think another ship does. Everyone just single files in against a posted up DM. We had a Shima. I didn't know we even had a Shima in this game until late. As you can see, he's going for the hero play on the CV. This was it made sense once we did some detective work on where our team was this entire game. But still, we're just going to work this side. I'm going to play a little cautious and communicate with my Zhao, who doesn't have repair, so we can really start pumping in some damage and really start making a move on this. So we snagged the Montana. As you can see, Montana no rep right there. Montana, actually, what was that just died? So we had a Moscow push broadside against a DM. There you go. That's always fun. But yeah, just communicating with your clan mates, with your div mates on what doesn't have repairs, because instantly he shoots at that Montana, gets a fire on him, and that fire is a sticky fire, so that's really good. But as you see, I'm kind of balancing right now, trying to figure out what's going on, where the Shima is, because I'm 1 salvo away from dying from the Monty, so I'm not going to get overly aggressive. But we have worked this side down. We have absolutely worked this side down. I'm at 141k. We're looking kind of where the other destroyers are, and so we figured up right there that I didn't know if that was the Shima or the Neptune, because I'm not seeing many shells go out, so I figured I can kind of push in a little bit, and there's the Neptune right there, so we know the Shima's there, so I can get a little bit more aggressive and start actually screening for torps for my Zhao and for the other ships over there that haven't really been able to do too much. So Shima pops out. This is basically best case scenario. Neptune's still pretty far away. I have a smoke ready because of the fast reload, and Pop the smoke right there. Hopefully not get murdered. The Neptune is the only one with the ability to have shots. And now we can really start doing Pan-Asian Destroyer things. And what I mean by that is now we can really start going guns with torps. This thing, as you can see, just shoots crazy. If you ever played, I compare it to the Yueyang, it shoots so fast. So what you're going to try to do right now is, first of all, just farm high alpha damage. 3k a salvo on that superstructure. And what I'm really trying to do is I'm trying to get fires. So 2 right there, 2 hits, 1, 2, another 2 into a battleship. And again, gonna communicate with my div mate and tell him that the Monty doesn't have rep. We were in comms as well, but we can start getting aggressive here because and this Neptune, this was awful actually. This is awful. This is, you do not want to see a Neptune pushing you. And with a 5.8 detection, we are faster than him, but we are definitely within the danger zone of this guy right now. And he will just absolutely dunk me. So luckily our Zhao put in some suppressing shots. He was able to get far away. And though that shot right there probably would have killed me if it got a full pen with that angle. But we were able to get away, hopefully not taking any extra damage. Wiggling that booty. Our Zhao puts in a nice little salvo on him and gets him to back off. But I was ready to get aggressive there because, as you can see, these guys are all getting cattled into this area. So if me and the Zhao just push towards this 2 line in this area, and the Zhao can basically just sit right here and farm, I can just sit right here and just farm these guys. So we were really, really excited about this. I mean, already we're at 184k. It's pretty nuts. And I debated opening fire on this guy, but again, I can't die. This game is still going weird. More bodies have been added into this area over here. So if we are throwing away this side, we're still going to potentially lose this game. And we're way too valuable with now this situation. Their other destroyer is dead. So a Yueyang, now everyone gives the Shimakaze a great, like the Shimakaze is great. It's a great flanking ship. I think the Yueyang's probably better with its chance. Speed on torps, low detectability on torps. It's great guns. If you have smoke, you can still go insane. I think this is potentially like the best flanking ship for what it can do. It can defend itself with guns. It does a great alpha damage. Like if a Hindenburg was at 10k and his guns were faced away, so I know I could open up, I might open up guns for guns with him. That's just how much I have faith in this ship. For how fast you can do it, for how fast you can fire, I think even at 10k on like a good cruiser like that, you could potentially get the trade. You couldn't do that with the Shimmer, or in my opinion, really even the Z. You might be able to do it with the Z, depending on how good a broadside is giving you, but still, this thing can just go absolutely ham. And I'm trying to post up in an area where I can, because these guys are running away, so at 13.5 kilometer torps, although they're not short range torps, most of these probably won't make it. So I'm going to push in. Nothing's going to radar me. There's no radars left. Well, there's a Des Moines, but he's way over on the other side. But now this Yamato is going to push towards that. And as you see, we have 8 torpedo hits and 7 floods. I think I hit 1 when potentially 1 was doing a repair. So I think that's the only reason. We lost a couple ships, but it's not that big of a deal. This game's almost won, right? Worst case scenario, I can go kind of touch into the cap. And hopefully with no planes or anything like that, I can just kind of, we're up big. People are burning. Things are going down. The Des Moines is super far away. It's now farm time. So we'll try to get as much extra damage as we can right here. It was kind of a bummer, though, because it took us so long to get to this point because of that Shima and stuff like that. With that support. If we maybe had one more ship that was helping us, this would have taken little to no time. This game would have probably been over. So I'm gonna try to throw torps where I could hit both the Montana and the Yamato, but I'm gonna open up, especially since that Montana just shot. There's no reason for me to hold my shot. There's no reason for me to do anything. He has no shot for another 20 some seconds, so I might as well. And if he wants to, and there's high caliber, if he wants to go ahead and shoot blindly into me, he deserves that hit. So but then it was kind of a bummer. Actually, one thing that may have ended up being a misplay is I kind of forced him away from those torps because he ended up turning right. But I was the one spotting him, which was kind of a bummer. So I will get out our our guy threw up his planes, but we end up missing everybody. But again, as soon as things are spotted, you can start working them down. So we end up missing that torp set right there, but still. And this is why running AA is better than running aiming system. I feel like this ship is pretty accurate. I would rather take the AA to shooting down extra planes, shooting down a spotting plane, a fighter plane, stuff like that. I just don't think it needs to be a little bit more accurate. But as you can see right there, 21 hits, 20 breaks, which is the bummer. We weren't getting quite that. Maybe he was saturated too. We weren't getting those hits. I don't know what I was pointing out. Something there. Oh, I was pointing out the graveyard that is over at sea. Look at that. Look how many ships died in this area. And by the way, I think our Conqueror was this one that went all the way around decap. So where decap normally is. But look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in this area. 7 of 24 ships have died in that area. That's so crazy. And most of those, and there's an 8th one right there. 8 ships died. This single file cows going over a cliff kind of situation. It's almost comical. And I thought that was kind of funny. And as you can see, I think this is the point that I noticed, because I was wondering what was going on with that Hindenburg right there. And I think that's the point that I noticed, that we had a Shima right there. I'm like, where has this guy been all game? So our Shima has basically 1v1 this Hindenburg all game. So a couple doofuses in this game, but what are you gonna do? It's daytime warships. But right now, I figure I'm fine to kind of touch on cap, and I'm gonna kind of touch in on it, and we'll just we're not trying to cap it out. We're just trying to get some extra points. So I'm gonna watch my detection range very closely with these ships. One, I got to be careful because it's 2 Hindenburgs. They potentially have sonar, but I'm just stopping the points. I could potentially die. My Zhao could get dev struck. That Shima could die. You know, there's situations where there are losing situations that I don't want to happen. So one, I'm gonna try to get as many torps in as I can. There we go. That pumps us over 200k. My opinion, anytime you get 200k, that's a great game. And one, I have one more smoke. I'm looking for a really good situation to open up again on these guys. Hindenburg's getting pretty close, still out of sonar range, so no need to worry there. And really just kind of watching the distance he is to me. Tirpitz is on the point, trying to set up for torps. Monty's running away, but this guy is maybe my target. I have one more smoke, so I'm going to get away a little bit and wait for him to go. But he was straight line sailing, so I was thinking maybe my torps would just destroy him a little bit. With that second set, I put out 1 in case he turned. The Zhao's moving in 2, so that could potentially be a problem. But with how this was, as you can see, his guns are starting to turn, so he's he's now just noticing it. But with the Hindenburg going down there, I think I pop smoke right here and start just kind of unloading. We're gonna smoke as we go out. Again, I don't care about me capping this out. I just wanted to be in a situation where I could stop their points and we can give us a little bit of an edge, just in case. So 5.8 detection, 6.1 range. He's getting a little close, so I think I throw smoke up right here and angle away. Our Zhao takes a big hit, so that's good. Or their Zhao took a big hit, so that's good. And we're looking for a situation to kind of open up. The Hindenburg has shot, and with him starting to turn now, I think we throw our last smoke down right here. There we go. Last smoke goes down, and he doesn't have a repair, so he's just getting wrecked. And we almost get team killed. Thank you, Shima. Thank you, 10 lining Shima, for that. And ended up not really needing it, but that's all right. We're gonna open up on this guy. One thing about this is the HE does have great alpha damage, as well as the AP being very, very, very brutal, and can do a ton of damage. 220k already, so I'll take that any day with a destroyer. 10 torpedo hits, almost all floods, 90% on the floods. And so he just repped. He repped the one fire, so we're just gonna finish out with. You guys can't see the damage numbers because they're just a little bit too far back, but really you can chunk down for 2-3k salvos with AP. It kind of reminds me almost of Russian AP. And then this Monty is about to get nuked right here. But again, one thing I thought was pretty funny, this one actually made me laugh out loud, was that Shimo launched Torps really close, and I was thinking 100% this is going to scare the ever-living hell out of the Shima. And as you can see, there's probably a freak out. He does a freak out turn here. They go right under destroyers, so it takes a little while to get used to, but as you can see, he probably pooed himself a little bit when those Torps came in, because you still get the same alert of Torps coming in, but they were deep water Torps. So just be aware that if you're playing lots of Pan-Age DDs, you go back to playing normal DDs, that would have been a team kill if it would have been something else. So, but anyways, I think our Yamato smashes this guy. But the Yueyang is insane. I love this ship. If you guys haven't, start playing this line. It's a lot of fun. It takes a little while to get used to. And there we go, 231k. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.